We're back from the dead.
Hell yeah.
Back. We're back from the dead.
Are you ready? Let's go. Back from the dead.
We're back from the dead.
Hell yeah.
We're back from the dead. Back from the dead. Back from the dead. Back from the dead.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're all invited to go fucking mental on this month.
Drop the
So
F-bomb.
there we are.
Wait, did they hear you?
Are we live now?
Yeah, now you're live.
My dog's barking. Sorry. I'm like looking at us.
I'm gonna have to like,
Cool.
I'm gonna have to like live behind Blake to get to him.
And then, okay.
It's a learning process.
Well, I mean, running 2 programs is like, you know,
Cool.
it's a miracle we can do this. It used to be like kind of bland and generic.
So
I'm gonna wave it out.
remove that fucking guy.
What?
He says, get on your knees, Blondie.
Can you go block him, please?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, good.
Some people.
You know, I don't miss the abuse of YouTube. That's like a fact, seriously. You know what I mean? Like, Jesus. Chanel, I am so excited you want to edit. Oh my god, I'm so excited.
I know. I was like, I've been thinking about it for the past couple of weeks.
Just click between the two. You can see Chanel. This is in a lag. That's sort of more live-ish.
Okay. I really don't like to pay attention to the YouTube stream because it really lags bad.
No, it's not lag. It shouldn't be lagging as bad this time. lagging, people?
We are learning
No.
new
It's not?
programs, so.
It's not on my end.
The sound is echoing, yeah. Because we need your headphones. We need your headphones.
Are these good?
They are right.
Sorry, one sec, guys. Remember, we're still learning all this. Switching programs and whatnot. We'll be a pro eventually. We will be a pro eventually.
Okay.
There's no audio on this, right?
No,
It's
you'll
the
hear.
microphone?
You'll hear.
What do you mean I'll hear?
You'll hear Chanel.
Chanel, can you just be like, hey,
Yes.
yeah, there we go. Gotcha. I was like, can you be like, hey, what's up? Okay.
What's up?
Sorry, guys. It's just, we're learning. That's all. It's all new. It's all new. Okay.
And then, so like, if you notice a douchebag like this, it's just the 3 dots, and then
Block.
hide user from the channel.
Okay.
They can still watch, they just can't say anything.
Okay. So wait. Unhide user or hide user?
Hide user, because this guy blocked.
Okay. Good. Sorry, guys. We're still learning. It's going to take a minute.
Can everyone hear Chanel and Krystal okay?
Yeah, we just want to confirm you guys can
Hello.
hear us. Say something, Chanel. Be like, hey, what's up, guys?
Hello. Hello. Can you hear me?
Just make sure if you guys could put in chat, you can hear us. Just waiting. I think we're good. I think someone would have complained if they. Okay, we got thumbs up. Thanks, Monica. Appreciate you. Okay, so when I end the stream, Blake, sorry guys, Blake's the one running this whole program process. I have to stop streaming, stop recording. Is that right?
Yeah.
And then that's it?
That's why it's Twitch okay.
I don't know. He gets so grumpy dealing with all this computer program stuff. I can't figure it out, so I just don't. I don't even try to figure it out. I just kind of sit in the back seat like I have no idea what's going on. Alright, so Chanel, we'll just chat while Blake's figuring out whatever he's doing, because I don't know what's happening.
Sounds good.
So I stayed up too late last night, clearly. I edited till like 3:30 in the morning. And I feel a little bit zombie-ish, I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little bit like, ugh, out of it. Are we good? Is everything good? We're gonna get feedback from Blake, because I have no idea what's going on. Can't wait till we're like pro at this, where we don't have to like test it and like wait it out, you know what I mean? Am I good to go?
Twitch's frame rate is being really slow.
Okay, Twitch is being twitchy, apparently. I don't know. You can't drop the F-bomb on here, we'll get blocked by YouTube. Remember?
No, it's different now.
Oh, it's different now? Yeah, I went in and I cleaned up our entire, like, Ghost Girl Diaries
So
YouTube channel.
worry about YouTube and just let Twitch run.
Okay.
Just apologize. It's gonna be slow until I figure something out.
Okay.
I'm gonna go real quick and I'll be back.
Okay, something's wrong with Twitch for some reason. We need to test this though. So it's going to be more like audio, like podcast-ish through Twitch. So I'm sorry, it's going to be weird. But we have to test it in order to figure out if we can run it, and then obviously go through the trials and tribulations of it not working to see if we can figure it out for next time. Because I cannot shut it down. If I shut it down and try to redo it, we will like go back live on YouTube and it'll end the first stream. So I'm not going to do that. So we're just going to have to deal with it for now. So anyways, sorry Chanel, thanks for like hanging on to the side for me there for a minute. So anyway, I was up late last night. We had the trailer drop today. Hopefully you guys have seen it. It's only about 30 seconds. That's just the first one. It was kind of more of like a sneak peek trailer for you guys. That was the first footage we all shot together. And that was in August. And it's kind of fun to see it like come together. I know that a lot of people on YouTube didn't really follow me over to Twitch, so they didn't know like where I went and what I've been doing. And so I was just gonna kindly, briefly go over that. So, you know, YouTube kind of took a crap last year, as you guys know. The whole Logan Paul issue happened, and basically he had talked about Suicide Forest and showed dead bodies on his channel. So anyone that had had a Suicide Forest chat or discussion, which I've talked about several times, basically you were flagged, your channel was flagged. And so my channel was practically shut down. And I don't know, it was kind of a blessing in disguise. At the time, I didn't really see it as that. Now I see it as a blessing in disguise because in like February, March, Blake and I started throwing around the idea of turning Ghost Girl Diaries into what it should have always been, which is a series. And then once we put that out into the universe, slowly, one by one, the girls found me. And so Chanel found me through Instagram. Chanel is on now. This is Chanel, if you guys aren't familiar with Chanel. And she's from Pennsylvania. And she had... You were a fan, right? Like, that's how it started? You liked Ghost Girl Diaries?
Yes. I came across the account couple of months before I actually messaged you, and I watched a few of your videos, I think a few of the review videos, and then I was like, I gotta message this girl because I was planning on doing a YouTube channel, a channel. And so I just kind of messaged you about, you know, I've worked in the film industry, and it just kind of led from there.
Well, yeah, it was weird. Chanel like messaged me this huge book on Instagram, which is like a private message DM, and I don't usually check DMs on Instagram because I get bad pictures in there from boys that are gross. So I just happened to check my Instagram DMs, and there was this message from this girl, and she was like, I have experience in the paranormal industry. I've worked on a few sets with Netflix, I've been a camera tech and all this stuff. And she wasn't like fishing for a job by any means. And it was weird though, the timing that it happened, because you know, Blake and I had been discussing like taking it to the next level of like actually filming and turning it into like a filming series, professional filming series. And it was so weird. It was almost like the universe like confirmed it with Chanel. So I reached out to Chanel and said, hey, I know that you weren't asking for a job, basically, but do you want to like interview with me and chat with me, because I'm thinking about, you know, moving forward and making this into like an actual filming series. And she wrote me back and she's like, oh my gosh, yes. Like, I think she was shocked too, because she wasn't really expecting that. So just like as a lesson for you guys watching, like, don't be afraid to like reach out, you know, to like a YouTuber or somebody that you know, you're interested in, something you're interested in. Don't be afraid to say something, because the worst you can get is no, right? And that didn't happen for Chanel at all. And then like Brittany's story, Brittany was actually a fan as well of Ghost Girl Diaries. She came out to Vegas in April, and I went down. She'd like private messaged me asking me if I would meet, because I'll meet fans like at haunted places in Vegas. And so she met me in Vegas. Let's see, it was last week of April at Zach's Museum. And I don't know what, that was weird too. Like, she wasn't looking for a job. And like when I officially started the series, the first thing I thought of was like Brittany. Like, she's the newbie, kind of like not super expert, and I wanted people to look up to her as being someone different. And then Kat has an interesting story, but we'll share hers later. Kat was the last one that I brought in. But Chanel is our official, one of our camera techs. And she's doing sort of our occult specialist type of stuff. She's really good with knowledge of like pagan and witchcraft and all that kind of thing. In fact, I just summoned her this week to help me with some other research Brittany and I have been doing about the Church of Satan, which is so funny, Chanel. I had my computer, you know how my office looks, I had my computer set up and I had like several internet windows open. And it was like, reading about Anton LaVey, who's the, creator, founder of the Church of Satan. I had all these really weird windows on all my computer screens. And my Lake walks in, and a few of our other, like, assistants we've had work for us in the past, they're like, only in Krystal's office would you walk in at her work and see, like, all these windows up about the Church of Satan and, like, Enochian culture, you know? So everyone was like, in a normal work setting, this would be really awkward and, like, not normal. So anyway, Chanel, basically I wanted to bring her on today to kind of let you guys get to know her and, like, where she fits in with Ghost Girl Diaries. With that being said, I know I've had some questions on social media since we dropped the trailer this morning. The question is, Ghost Girl Diaries, the series, what is it, and will it be dropping on YouTube? Ghost Girl Diaries, the series, will be an authentic, raw, real, paranormal documentarian series mixed with, obviously, reality TV. It will be, like, real, raw, live investigations. Well, not live. Sometimes live. Maybe on, like, YouTube Live. But the actual series will not drop on YouTube. That's been the biggest question everyone's had is, where is the series going to be? It will not be on social media. We're shooting for major streaming services. We are not shooting for cable as well, just so everybody knows. Because I know people were like, oh my gosh, when are you going to post, like, your first episode on YouTube? It's not going to be on YouTube. So probably won't even be able to look for it officially till, like, next summer / fall. So we'll be officially shooting season 1 in spring of 2019, and Kat has been helping with location management. So we'll talk about that stuff with Kat later. So anyway, Chanel, let's get back to you. Remember, I've talked Chanel and I are like twinsies for some reason. We don't know why. We always have, like, weird connections. It's really creepy. So let's first talk about, like, paranormal, just so that the YouTube audience can kind of get to know you a little bit. Where did your paranormal, like, experiences start and, like, interest and all that stuff?
Well, they started when I was really, really young. I was into watching all of the paranormal shows from, like, 9 or 10. And the experiences just kind of, I feel like they started when I was younger than 9 or 10. I got into, like, the paranormal shows because of the stuff that I would experience. So I would say the earliest that I can remember something happening is 7. So
you're like me,
basically from childhood.
Basically, like, it's just always been a part
Yes.
of your life. And you had, like, lived in kind of a haunted house, right?
Yes. Well, I mean, the house I'm in right now, I grew up in. So nobody lived here before us. We do live right next to a graveyard, behind a church, and then there's a graveyard, and then there's my house.
Plus, there's, like, lots of
And-
waterways and lakes that could probably be, like, powering up with, like, EMFs, like we learned.
Oh, yeah, my backyard is basically a lake. So there's a lot of energy.
Charging possibilities, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so Chanel lives in a smaller town in Pennsylvania. We're not, I mean, I don't share people's private business. I'm not gonna, like, give out her address or anything, but it's a small town.
It's a very, very small. I always say it's a small town within a small town. It's a very small town within another small town.
And we were worried, like, when she first came to Vegas, I was like, how's she gonna do in such, like, a gigantic city? And then you ended up loving it.
Love it.
Yeah, there's no, like, snowstorms. You don't get, like, snowed in for days and days, right? So paranormal has always been your thing. So I guess, I mean, without naming any names of shows, can you confirm or deny that there are fake shows out there that exist that don't do authentic stuff?
100%, yeah.
And so that was where you and I, like, bonded, because we were like, can't stand it. We don't deal with it. We won't, like, Chanel has been cast for some shows as well in the past that ended up being fraudulent. And that was probably one of the very first things that, like, drew me into her when she did message me on social media, because we were both, like, totally against You know, I don't know. Chanel and I also really respect filmmakers because we both she went to film school too in high school, and that kind of carried her through. So she's really film knowledgeable. She was the one that I had the least trained, like on the film set, and so I don't know. I think like we both respect ourselves as filmmakers and like wanting that authentic part to come out.
Yes, definitely.
So what do you want? Let's talk about something that you're into. So you like to learn about all the like pagan witchcraft stuff. So one thing that drives you crazy is the misconceptions of it.
Right.
So what's probably the biggest misconception you think that you ran into with it?
We're all Satanists. Is the biggest one. I mean, like, I know so many people that you say, like, if you were asked, like, what's your belief or something, and you say you're pagan, they're like, okay, I'm done talking to you. Because I think a lot of it, though, kind of stems from Hollywood making, like, witchcraft or witches out to be something evil when they're really not. It's just that we're practicing what we believe in just like everybody else is. So, plus you got...
I also think the pagan side, though, like, people don't understand, like, it's more about, like, nature and the moon and the sun and giving thanks to, like, Mother Earth type of thing, right? I mean, yeah.
Right. I mean, pagan is, like, the word pagan of itself is just an umbrella term for the different earth-based faiths. So, like, obviously, you know of Wicca. That's, in a sense, more organized, I think. Hold on, I took some notes a little bit. So, is it organized? Certain traditions, I guess, are more organized than others with Wicca. But, you know, like, obviously covens would be, in a sense, organized because it's a group of people, and you obviously have rules with that. But there's a lot more solitary witches than I think people think.
Well, and like the word coven, like, let's just go back to that for a second, because I've talked about it a little bit on the channel a few times. Isn't it true that, like, if you make a coven, and obviously everyone freaks out with that word, which I don't think it's, technically you could consider the four of us, you, me, Kat, and Britt, a coven, but, like, we don't practice witchcraft, even though we make, like, satanic jokes sometimes with, like, really dark humor. But, like, the word coven, like, can't you kind of make your own rules up depending on who's in that group with you?
Sure. It's, okay, so it's kind of like, personally for me, I didn't really call myself a pagan until recently because I was like, I'm sort of like a closeted witch in a sense. And that's another thing, the word witch, people just like get so weird about. And I think it does also have to do with Hollywood, kind of, because when you say witch, they're like, okay, that's kind of cheesy, but
well, I think also you think of, like, the Green Witch from, like, what is it called? The Wizard of Oz. Like, you automatically go, like, to extremes, and you're like, wait a second. Now, do you think, like, oh, she just passed out.
Sorry.
Okay. I was like, she just passed out. She's gone. So, do you believe that there are, like, the white witches, gray witches, and black witches? Do you think those exist?
I mean, yeah. And that's also, like, I think in a sense that would be the kind of energy that you want to work with. You know, some of them work with lighter energy, some of them work with the darker stuff, and some are dualistic. They work with both. So I guess in a sense that would be me, that I would be a gray witch. But
I feel like people can generally be put in that category too. If you're going to be really comparing, like, there's generally good people, there's generally bad people, and then there's, like, the mutual in-between people, right? I mean, so why is it scary just because the word witch gets thrown in, right? I mean, it shouldn't be. People.
Yeah, no, I don't think it should be. I think it's just, it's a word that somebody likes to describe themselves as, just like Christians call themselves Christians, Catholics, Catholics, and on. Buddhists, Buddhist. So
So what about the pentagram do you think makes people cringe?
I feel that that's like associated with Satanism as well, because once again, Hollywood, but it's not. It's, I mean, you can obviously use it for bad intentions, and it's all in that. It's an intention thing. What is, are you using it to try to cause harm to somebody? Are you using it to um, kind of get your way, which could, in a sense, someone else could perceive that as negative because that's just like your personal gain kind of thing. But the pentagram is just, it's like the elements, you know, earth, air, fire, water. We all know the elements. There's earth, air. We live on earth. There's air. There's fire. There's water. So I guess with the Satanist things, though, some Satanists could call themselves pagans as well.
Do you think
But
it's because they're hiding and they
not
don't
all
want to
of
like
us.
admit or something? Because now there's two types of Satanists too that I've learned about. One is the kind that they claim their independence, kind of like free-loving hippie. I don't go with like the in crowd. I'm independent. I personally think those people use the word Satanist for a shock value. And then you have the people that are like the really bad, what you think of as a Satanist, which are doing like dark rituals, possibly sacrificing things, which I think is extremely disturbing and I don't like to talk about. So do you think that people, when they use that term, sometimes it is for like the shock value of it, when it's not really what you would envision in your mind because of Hollywood?
Yeah, I mean, sure. People, humans, if they want attention, they're gonna do anything to get it, whether that means getting into something like that, you know, and they could actually be into it, just not know what they're doing, and they could go around telling people like, "Oh, I'm this," just to scare people. Cause
Well, I have a friend that told, well, he's an ex-Satanist, I guess, but he was the side of like the free-loving hippie world, I do my own thing. But I remember like I'd been friends with him for a while, and at the time he was practicing within the Church of Satan, and I didn't know it. And like out of nowhere, when we had been friends for months, he just like comes to me. He's like, "Well, you know, since you're into paranormal, I thought I could like be honest and be myself. And I'm a Satanist." And I did take a step back, to be honest, because I like literally stepped back. I was like, "Wow, I feel like I don't even know you," you know. But then that was when he taught me like there is a difference between the two as well. And I was like, "Dude, you are not like." You know, when you envision that term, I'm like looking at him like, no, you are not, like, not even what I would think of as. So, Hollywood definitely portrays them wrong. So, does it make you cringe even on, like, current paranormal shows, which I've talked about them in the past, and if someone uses, like, a term wrong, does it just send you through the roof when it makes it look like all witches are, like, practicing black magic?
yeah, I mean, yes, because it's not true. We're not all practicing horrible things, which magic is another thing that I think people get hung up on that word, and they think that we're talking about like magic in the sense of Harry Potter or the movie The Craft,
if that were the case, girl,
or
I'd
Sabrina.
be doing it with you. Just kidding.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's not that we shoot ice out of our hands or anything like that. It's like magic, right? That would be great.
Right?
But magic is more of your using your own willpower or your imagination to manifest or, you know, bring something about a little quicker that you want for yourself or for another person. So it's not.
It's like setting intentions. It's almost like the universe, right? Like I believe in like the power of law of attraction. So, I mean,
Yeah.
technically, you could consider that my own version of magic, but yet I'm not sitting here, like, conjuring things or... You're right, like, Hollywood
And
makes
some
you
people,
think, like, you've got, like, this huge cauldron, and you're, like, throwing in, like, legs of toad, and, like, like...
I mean, don't get me wrong, people do those types of things, but they're not, like, I know, I have a friend who, I just did my first ritual, actually, the week that I came to Vegas. And the same week that I came to Vegas, which I'm not going to go into detail about that. If you're interested, I'll tell you
Yeah.
off camera. But um, she got together objects that represent what the ritual represented. So
You can use
if
things
she
like
were, if she
sage, you can
used,
use things like stones, um...
and you can also use dead things,
Oops, sorry.
but
That's my phone.
with that, she makes sure that the dead things that she gets is already dead. She doesn't go out and
Right.
kill them.
Thank
In
God.
other
Jesus
words,
Lord.
which right.
So what do
So
you think
that
of people
is,
that practice, like, bad, dark stuff, like Lady Snake, who's, like, claiming to... Which I truly believe in exists. Like,
yeah.
what do you think that's... I just feel like that's not good for... I mean, I know people have their own laws and their own... Whatever she wants to do,
yeah.
whatever floats her boat. But, like, I mean, I don't agree with, like, summoning in demons or, like, Ed Gein, or, like, how do you feel about that really dark stuff?
I don't, personally, I wouldn't mess with it. She wants to, if she's okay with doing it, then that's her, and I can't be like, don't do this. For what she did on the live episode, I'm assuming, or someone
You
said
mean the recent live or
somewhere
the
that
old live one?
she said the recent
Okay.
one, like the Halloween
Yeah.
one. She said that she was given permission to do what she was doing, so that's another thing. It's all in what, like, you allow, I guess. And if she's allowing herself to conjure Ed Gein or whatever kind of energy she wants to have around herself and others, permission, I mean, if it's given, then
So you're saying that as a dark person, or light or gray, whatever, like dark witch, whatever you call it, that those energies will, like, continually float around you.
I think so. I mean, if somebody's a negative person and they have that energy connected to them and they're always harnessing that energy, then that's what you're going to give out. People are going to feel that. People who are intuitive and they're sensitive to that and they're connected to that, that is what they're going to feel around you. And those people are like those are the same people, I think, that like to cause drama. So, because drama is, in the sense, a negative thing, where it's perceived as a negative thing to people that don't want to have anything to do with it. So,
Well, it also can kind of infest, right? Which is, I guess, you can kind of look at that as, like, a dark witch that's conjuring, right? You're, like, manifesting, and it's kind of infesting whatever they're manifesting. So gossip and drama is kind of like the negative energy vampire without being called a dark witch. So, like, I think that's a great comparison for people. Because it's like drama and gossip, and it's going to infest, and it's going to grow and get bigger. It's similar.
yeah, and it's a give and receive thing. What you send out comes back. I mean, and not everybody believes that. You know, sometimes there's people who they give a certain energy out, but they're like, nothing can touch me. They think they're kind of invincible or whatever.
Yeah, and I think that is dangerous too. Because
Yeah.
I've seen people that think they're
Because you
invincible,
get
and they end up getting, like, slapped by karma really bad, and you're like, oh,
wake up call.
yeah, I mean, you kind of deserve that, you know, like, I don't know, I definitely believe in karma, because I've had it, well, I mean, I've never done anything really bad, but there's just those moments in life where something, you know, you'll be involved in something that went down the tubes, and then suddenly karma slaps you back, like, what did they call it on ridiculousness? It's like, immediate karma or something like that, or like instant karma where it like comes right back and slaps you. So yeah, I believe in like you should do things that you should be good in general, because I've definitely experienced it if you're not. So as far as like rituals go, is it chanting? Is it like prayer? Like what does it mean?
So everybody's different, right? Everybody's got a different way they do things. So to say that something should be done one way is just kind of ignorant. But some people chant, some people pray, some people they don't say anything, some people say something that's written, like a prayer of some sort, or like a rhyme, because sometimes, like, when you think of spells, you kind of think this has to rhyme.
Right.
Or because it sounds better, I guess.
Spells,
I don't know.
right? You can create your own spells and make
Yes.
your own. Okay.
And spells, I don't really like calling them spells because I feel like it sounds termy, and people don't really take you seriously when you're like, I'm gonna go cast a spell tonight. I call them workings. So
now we'll know what you're talking about if you ever say that around us. I'm just kidding. I would be the quiet one. Like, I'd be sitting there like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just going to sit here in silence and like let Chanel lead. No.
Yeah, well, for my first one, I was following somebody else's direction. So it was, I was nervous, so it was like already kind of, am I doing this right? You know, that's the kind of energy I had during it. So I don't think it really affected it, because I think it's your intention. So if you keep track of where your intentions are during whatever it is that you're doing, whatever workings you're doing, it will still work. At least that's what I believe. And this is all like where my perspective is. What I'm saying is, it's not, nothing that I'm saying is like set in stone, but like true. It's just from my perspective.
Well, I know some friends that are, well, I mean, generally speaking, I'd say they're probably gray witches. But they've both been practicing for, I mean, a long time. I actually know he also identifies as a warlock. He's someone else. But they claim
Cool.
you gain experience and composure and confidence over time. Like, I guess that's with anything though, right? Like, if you learn to play the piano.
Yeah.
If you're like Brittany and Kat are learning film, like it just takes over time. You get better and better at it, right? I mean, I'm trying to like just compare so that everybody knows. So, do you think people are like shocked by the fact that do you like to use the word, like the term witch? Because the few friends I have, like, first of all, they would never just go in public and be like, hey everybody, my name is this and I'm a witch. Like, they don't just do that.
No.
They would do it around like people that they trusted and that they feel like they understand. But do you identify in a certain way, or do you keep it fairly private?
I, to be honest, like to keep it private, or at least I used to. I don't mind witch. I think actually the word witch means wise woman. I could be wrong. Somebody confirm that. I do like the word witch, though. I mean, that's, if I'm being like, as in general, if somebody was like, what's your identifying as, I would be like a witch.
Well, yeah, it's true too. Like, when I was like hiring the girls, I told them I want you to have your own image. Like, mine has always kind of been like dark Barbie mixed with like Wednesday Addams. And like, Chanel's first thing was like witchy, mystical, mystic sort of thing, is her image. And she's just really, I think Chanel's an old soul. She's actually the youngest out of all of us. And she definitely doesn't act the youngest out of all of us, that's for sure. I think I'm an old soul too, but I think Chanel's lived more lives than I have, which like scares me sometimes because I haven't met someone like that before. Which is probably why I think Chanel and I have that like weird bond connection that we have, where like if she's having a bad day, I know it without talking to her, and like vice versa. Or like we have similar dreams at night. Especially, like, bad dreams. If we have bad dreams, we'll, like, text each other and be like, hey. Or like, hey, I'm having odd anxiety for some reason today. Do you? And like, yeah, I had a bad day at work and here's what happened type of thing. So it's really weird, the connection that we have. So I had another question for you. Totally like, oh, brained it. Here it is. So we love, as a group, we love Sabrina, which is on Netflix. And, you know, obviously Chanel loves the witchy side of things. And we did not think of how she might feel with the series. We just loved it. I mean, it's dark. It's not for everybody. Some people might like it. Some people might not. You know, we loved it just because it's got a lot of dark humor. But when Chanel sat down with us in Vegas when they were out here at the beginning of October, Chanel was like, I just want to tell you guys I like the show, but I have a problem with it. And do you want to share what your problem was originally? Because we didn't think about this.
Well, it goes back to claiming that all people that practice witchcraft or some form of it are Satanists, or they're related to Satanism.
It's like the furthest from you. Like, oh, jeez. It's like, it's
sorry.
Okay. It's so funny.
There's so many wires right now.
She's hooked up everywhere. It's okay. No, I don't mean to laugh, but it's just so funny because you're like the furthest from being a Satanist at all.
I know.
Oh, I know, but like, so she expressed this to us. She's like, because we sat down, we watched the series and stuff together, and because we love it. It's just like there's funny parts in it. If you haven't seen it yet, the ants are like, they'll say they're Satanists. They actually like belong to the Church of Satan, and often the ants, instead of being like, oh, thank God, like I got my coffee today or something, they'll be like, oh, praise Satan, I got my coffee. Like, so they have really dark humor, which we love. But we didn't really think about that, you know, like until Chanel sat us down. She's like, you guys are my sisters and I love you guys, but like I have a serious issue with this. And I just started laughing because I didn't realize, like, you're right, like put myself in her shoes. If I, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I love it. It's a great show.
Because you're not a Satanist. Like, she's like the furthest thing from that. But go ahead, keep going.
No, but I like the show for like entertainment. It's very entertaining. Don't get me wrong. And you know, I like the actors and actresses and the storyline. And I still haven't finished it. First of all,
you need to finish it. It's so good.
Yeah, I should. But yes, and I do like I am into the darker stuff. I actually wasn't for a while because. Okay, so something that really gets on my nerves.
You don't mean you're like.
I'm not saying like Satanist stuff.
And you're not saying
I mean,
you're
like
killing animals or something. Like, let's just.
No.
Don't worry,
oh my
guys.
God.
Like, Chanel is like the biggest animal lover. Like, she's constantly rescuing animals. She doesn't do like human sacrifice. She doesn't mean that. When she says darker stuff,
I have a cat.
When she says darker stuff, she means
I have multiple
spirits
cats
and like that and energies. She doesn't mean. Sorry, I mean to laugh. Oh man, no, I have a cat. Okay, keep going.
What was I saying?
You were saying you're into the darker stuff, and I just wanted to reiterate that it wasn't that dark.
No, I really like occult things, but okay, so something that gets on my nerves is the new agey things, because I've met a lot of people who group paganism, Wicca, Druidism, all of those different sects of like paganism things.
Mystical, right? I mean, that's the term.
As New Age. Okay. And it's not. Mm-hmm. Like New Age stuff, like astrology would be kind of New Agey, but astrology is thousands of years old. So, but people just kind of associate that with New Age, and the love and light people is something that gets on my nerves, because I feel like with that, it's just gotten to a point where they don't like to recognize that there is a dark aspect of you.
Yeah, sure.
Which there is. And whenever you don't decide to just push that away is when you could get into really bad state of mind, because you have to work with yourself. You know, everybody has a dark thing.
And let
Everybody
me
gets
be
depressed.
real, too, and I've talked about this on the channel before. When I was researching, like, paganism and, like, Druidism and all that, this is, like, a long time ago, actually, road rage is technically considered black magic. So, if all these self-proclaimed white witches are out there claiming they've never had road rage, I don't believe you. Like, not for 1 second.
Yeah.
So that's what Chanel means by there's some sort of darkness. Like, or like getting depression or sadness or dark times. Like, my dad was really sick, and we know he won't be around long. Like, everybody has sort of a dark side, is what she's trying to say. So, and I agree with that too, the New Age stuff, because my family is Native American. My grandmother's side is, like, full-blooded Native American, and they're Cherokee. And, like, my grandma was, like, straight off the res, like, she lived on the reservation. And they had, like, medicine men and women. And, you could consider it a branch of Druidism, which they're very extremely, like, private about, might I add. But it's not New Age. It's not, like, it didn't just start happening. Like, that stuff's been around for, like, hundreds of years. Like,
So long, yeah.
Yeah.
Very, very long. And it's, I don't know. Humans are a strange species. Mm-hmm. We like to change things.
And pretend like they didn't exist previously.
Yeah. we like to call them something different and say, oh, look, I figured this out. I created this. Mm-hmm. It didn't exist before, so don't research.
Right. And then everyone's like, oh, okay, I believe you. And then that's it.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
It's funny because Chanel and I always have a joke. We're just like, I don't think we're from here normally. This is a very difficult planet. And humans are a very strange species. Like, Chanel and I always say that to each other. So what do you think of, like, all that stuff? Like, shamanism, Judaism, any of that stuff?
I love it. Too. Well, actually, when I came to Vegas and we visited that crystal store, I forget the name of it. Was it like Jewels and Minerals or something, the store name?
So many people have been asking me about it. It's downtown Vegas, near Sahara and Las Vegas Boulevard. And it has literally a dinosaur on top of the building. And I think if you just look up jewelry stores or crystal stores in Vegas and, like, look up images on that Google search, it will pop right up. You'll find it. It's literally Sahara and Las Vegas Boulevard, so it's downtown. But it is literally like a warehouse. And, like, because, Chanel loves crystals. Obviously, she's really into it. And then Kat is really into it, too. But I told them when we first went down there, I said, you'll never see a crystal store like this. And when we went in, it was
and
like,
I haven't.
Oh my God, it's beautiful. Isn't it amazing?
It's so cool. When I move there, I'll be going there a lot.
Oh, that was Chanel just casting a spell. Did everybody see that? She just set an intention, and that was a spell. When I move there, she says. So.
I like how, listen, okay, pause. I look like a floating head. It's getting dark.
Yeah, Chanel's 3 hours later than me, which is crazy. So, yeah, all the girls love Las Vegas. Everybody's wanting to move here.
But yeah, so when we went there, we went to the crystal place. It was amazing. You walk in, you can feel it. You could feel the energy. I don't even know what to describe it as. It's just like you're hit with a wall of, like, okay, I feel it. I see you guys.
The wall, literally. She was so sick.
Yeah, and they have.
Love you.
Love you. They have these this line of singing bowls, I think is what they're called. And I saw. Didn't you say that the guy that owns it is actually a shaman, or he practices shamanism, or is that not?
I have a feeling he's. Well, first of all, I think he's very psychic, which I think proved because he walked up to you and gave you some stones. And you can.
Yes.
I'll let you talk about that. But yeah, I think he practices something. He's very. You met him. He doesn't even speak full English, so I'm not sure where they're from. I'm not sure if they're Turkish or some sort of Arabic. I'm not sure. but the owner is like the most beautiful soul. Could you sense that about him just when he walked up to you?
Oh yeah.
He is like
Yeah,
all good, only good type of vibes is what he is. And
he was very, it's very strange because it was really subtle, but it was really impacting with, what I experienced. I was just, walking around the store, and this was I think after Brittany had gotten sick. I was just kind of browsing, and he came over, and he was like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "Yeah." And then he showed me how to feel the vibrations of the singing bowls, which was really cool, actually. And he's like, he pulls out of his pocket this, I think it's obsidian. I don't really know if you guys are gonna be able to see it.
I think that's
It's
it's
really
either
dark.
obsidian or what was the other one that?
Tourmaline.
Yeah, I think that's the obsidian though.
And he puts it in my hand and then closes my hand, and he's like, "For your protection." I was like, "For me? Like, you want me to keep it?" He was like, "Yes, keep it." I was like, "Okay." And I still have it, obviously.
Right.
But it was interesting because it was like something that would happen in a movie, it seemed like.
He's very
So
spiritual.
that was
He's like, which is interesting because he's not always there. Because I've been down there a few times. The prices are really good too, but the crystals, they don't just
Very
have
good.
the small crystals. Like they have giant, like huge. What are they called? Geodes. When you crack open the geode and there's all like the amethyst inside.
Yeah.
But they have more than just amethyst. Like it's everything. They actually, the owner was there, and he saw Chanel, Kat, and I walking together. So once again, I think he senses people. I don't know if like he's a medium, he's a psychic. I do think he practices something other than that, like shamanism or druidism or something. I can just sense that about him as like an empath. He's very strong with whatever he practices. He looked at the three of us and said, "I want you guys to see something." And I mean, I've been there so many times. He's never asked me that. It must have been our energy together, the three of us. And so he leads us to this like secret room, which, by the way, I was very nervous when we were walking. I was like,
yes.
What is about to happen? Like, are we gonna get kidnapped? I'm not sure. Kat's gonna throw it down if anybody tries anything. Like, but there was this giant rose quartz ball, like larger than a pickup truck. Like, I don't even know how they got it to Vegas. I mean, it had to have been thousands and thousands of pounds. And, like, it has this, like, sign on it, and, like, it said something, like, he doesn't have it for sale, but he said he lets only special people come in to recharge on it. So he's like, put your hands on it, put your hands on it. And it was beautiful. Wasn't that beautiful? It was, like, that, to me, was out of a movie, just seeing that rose quartz.
Yeah.
I've never seen a stone like that size. Like, obviously that didn't come from Vegas. So he must have rolled it here from, like, South America or something, because I don't know how it was transported, because it's so big, you know?
It was so cool, though.
Cool.
I wanted
Me
it.
too. I was like, look, I don't live far.
If it's still there.
To my house up the highway, just westbound a little bit. So.
If it's still there, we need to buy it, and like once everything is
talked about
good
that.
with
Once the show goes, we're gonna each like put in a quarter of it, and where's it gonna go? Like, y'all gonna make me store it at my house or something? Gonna have to like turn it into like a
should
water
just have
fountain or something.
Like a GGD headquarters and just like plop it right in the middle of wherever.
Get a warehouse for it. It's like a meditation room
Yeah.
with a giant rose quartz. Ooh, that would be cool. We have to do that. Oh man. So, well, what else do you want to cover? Is there anything else? So you like Sabrina? You just think that it has wrong intentions of teaching people that all witches are bad, all witches practice from the Church of Satan. But you liked it.
Yeah, I did. I liked it. I think it's great, but it's just there's a couple things that I keep picking out that I'm like.
Random fact: do you know that they're getting sued by the Church of Satan?
Yes.
Did you hear that?
Yes, because they're using the statue of Baphomet, I think it is, right?
Like the big statue. Apparently, to make it gender friendly, that goat statue normally has female enhancements. Let's just say. And the Church of Satan took away those female enhancements specifically and like had it copyrighted and trademarked. And the like writers, producers of Sabrina took the same statue that was not endowed so that it could be shown like as film footage. And so now they are suing the set of the producers of
Let There Be Light.
She's back in the light. Actually, that dark image of you was actually really good for your character. Like, it was, like, super character.
Oh, really? Do you want me to shut it off?
It doesn't matter. It was just, like, it just fit your character, you know what I'm saying? Oh, look. You kind of look like that moon face. You remember, like, the moon face? Like, where it was, like...
Yes.
Oh, man. So, yeah, we love Sabrina. It's just... There's some issues going on their set, but they're coming out. I think the next season 2 comes out in December is what I think they're releasing it. So the biggest thing I would say though is that I know I've had some fans tweet me saying it was a little too dark for them. It was a little weird. I just think you should give it a chance and try to suck it up and watch it because. I mean, especially if you have dark humor, because we have been adopting that dark humor a little bit. I went live with Kat on Instagram on Wednesday. I don't know if you watched it. Yeah, you were there, weren't you?
Yes.
And so a few times Kat and I were like, "Hail Satan," or like, "Just kidding, we're not serious."
We're not actually Satanists. Calm down.
It's just an inside joke.
Oh.
Everything's fine.
So I'm like watching the chat. In the other screen, my mom is here. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom. She's like, "There's my daughter. Why is your head floating?"
Your floating head.
Oh man. So what else do you want to chat? We have a few minutes left. Do you touch like a certain topic or anything?
Okay. Let me see if I can actually see this.
Oh wait, time out. We just need to talk about one more thing. How was your trip to Los Angeles? And how was your trip to Universal Studios?
Great. It was great. No, seriously, I had like such a great time. I always love going back to LA or even Vegas. Both places. LA was great. Universal was amazing. I completely recommend everybody to go if you can. Especially if they do the Halloween horror. And I had a little buddy kind of attached to me the whole time. Her name is Kat. It was funny. It was so funny. It was great.
Kat was so scared, guys. Like, she doesn't like zombies. She doesn't like Halloween scary stuff, which is so weird. Considering, like, she's going to be on a paranormal show. And she's like, no, you don't get it. Like, I'm fine with dead people. I'm not okay with zombies and, like, people in scary costumes with, like, really loud chainsaws. So Kat was, like,
there was a lot of that.
Onto the back of Chanel's backpack. Like, she kept, like, dragging her down. It was so funny. It's also just, reiterate the fact that Chanel is, like, very intuitive because... She doesn't like scary rides, Chanel, okay? So we were trying to...
I get motion sick.
Yeah, well, we were trying to get her to go on rides. Like, come on, just go with us. She's like, nope, I don't want to throw up, sorry. So we're like, okay, fine. So finally, we talk her into going in on a ride with us. Finally, okay? We're like, yes, finally she's going to go. So she's like, yep, you're right. She got all pumped up. She's like clapping. We're like walking down the hallway to this like new ride. It's The Mummy. Okay, if you guys are my Twitch streamers, you know what Brittany and I talked about. The Mummy ride was like deathly terrifying. Okay, it was like the scariest ride we rode at Universal. And so right as we're getting ready to walk into the Mummy ride, Chanel's like, decided I'm not going. Sorry. So her intuition like kicked in, and like, thank God you didn't go, Chanel, because you would have been throwing up on all of us, like, completely.
Yeah.
Blake literally, like, checked out and had, like, an out-of-body experience. I don't look impressed, though. Like, we got one of those photos at the end of the ride. I look pathetically unimpressed. And I'm assuming it's because I've experienced so many paranormal things that, like, nothing phases me at this point. I'm just, like, I'm like, oh, that was scary. Like no expression whatsoever. But yeah, we had so much fun, didn't we? It was really fun.
It was great.
Yeah. Chanel and I tend to be the bravest out of the group. Neither of us get, like, we were staying in a haunted location as well for sleeping. And Chanel and I literally sleep like the dead. Like, nothing bothers us.
Yeah, no, I guess didn't Brittany and Kat say that they were up all night or something? Because they were afraid of their
Yeah,
bathroom.
they had shadow people, and I heard footsteps too, and I thought Chanel kept coming up to my door, and she wasn't, but Chanel and I just slept through it. I heard my name being whispered a few times, just kept sleeping. But then you have Brittany and Kat that are just like, they're gonna be the scared, like, screaming Aaron Goodwins of the group, I think. So, it's a really good, I hope you guys follow us on Twitch, because Twitch is free, but we have some old videos on there, all of us, and you should watch them, just so you can keep getting to know the girls. So yeah, I'm just wanting to show their dynamic with me. I know that I've been on the channel by myself for so long, and I want to introduce each of them, and I want you guys to, like, follow them in social media. Go down to the description below. It has all of their links to social media. And yeah, these girls, Kat, Brittany, and Chanel, have become, like, my sisters. You know, they're like we're pretty much blood sisters. I can't even say we're, like, adopted sisters. We all feel like we're very, like, connected from past lives, and we've probably lived many past lives together. So the series is going to be really awesome, not only for seeing finally some good, decent paranormal footage, but also just learning the characters of each of us individually and us together. Chanel just keeps knocking her camera down.
This is becoming a habit.
It's okay. It's all good. So please follow us on social media. Shout out to our Patreon subscribers and our Twitch subscribers. Anyone that actually subscribes to our Patreon page or our Twitch page, they are actually financially supporting us and making the series what it's going to be. We have pretty much purchased all brand new film equipment. We will be shooting in 4K, not 1080 HD. We still have a couple more 4K cams to buy, and I want to get some other, like, random paranormal equipment. Like, my Ovilus 5 broke. I need to send it in to Bill Chapel to get fixed. But yeah, we will be shooting starting spring. So until then, I want you guys all to get to know everybody. And obviously everyone's quirky in their own way. Clearly we've seen Chanel and how she's quirky in her own way as well. I love Chanel.
I was just...
What's up? No,
what? I was just reading, Keely, super #1 fan, says Chanel is so excited she keeps passing out.
Like, when the camera goes
I just
out.
can't help myself.
Oh man, Chanel's cool. She's awesome. Yeah, I can't wait. I think it'll be so fun when you guys move out here too.
Yes. Yes. I'm just gonna come tomorrow.
I know last time she came out here to
because it's snowing.
Just don't go back. Just, like, stay here. So yeah, that'll happen eventually. Chanel expressed to me today that she's wanting to learn post-production editing. So I'm so excited about that, because Blake, I'll be doing main editing for this series, and then Blake, I've taught him how to edit. But I'm thrilled to have Chanel learn, especially I can kind of teach her my ways and things I like and the way I want the series to be portrayed and seen. So that'll be exciting. I'm so excited to have her edit. Is there anything else you want to add on, Chanel?
Nothing. It's snowing and dark, and I'm cold.
I hate to say this. I'm gonna totally, like, burst your bubble. Are you ready for this? Currently, it is 66 degrees in Las Vegas. Just saying.
I have to go.
To Vegas, literally.
No, yes. I'm gonna get on the plane. I have to go to the airport.
I told you.
Oh, I see. Okay, I just looked over and you're showing.
Pack the cat and
What?
just get on the plane.
That's what I'm gonna do.
It's over. It's all over.
Be like, yep, let's go. We're
Make
leaving.
sure you guys follow Chanel and myself on social media. Chanel will be doing a giveaway on her Twitter page. And your Twitter handle is Chanel_Sherry44. Is that right?
On Twitter? I think it's Chanel_Sherry33.
That's Chanel. Make sure you follow her on Twitter, because she'll be doing a giveaway which will end Sunday night. but she will announce what the giveaway is, and she's going to pick 2 or 3 winners. You will have to tweet at her when she asks a question. Make sure you're following her in order to enter, which is awesome. I'm so excited. So we're going to be doing some weekly giveaways. We're just doing some basic giveaways at first, and then afterwards we'll start doing some other things to get everyone involved, including Chanel will be throwing out some free tarot card readings to people that are interested. We'll be doing it on our Discord channel, which the link, I believe, is on Twitch channel. So go to twitch.tv/Krystal Leandra, all one word, no spaces. Make sure you please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please subscribe to our Twitch, our Patreon. Follow us on social media. Tomorrow I will be on with Brittany. We will be cracking the code of ghost adventures and discussing the Church of Satan, which is very out of the box for Brittany. I'm so excited for you guys to get her opinions on it. And we'll be kind of talking about how the Church of Satan relates to Enochian culture and like history. So thank you guys so much, Chanel. Thank you so much. I'm so excited to have you on. Make sure you guys follow her on social media to get the giveaways, and we will catch you guys next time. But just give me a minute to end the stream. Okay.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Okay. I got one stream ended.